Hello, I am Certified Moth. Thank you for stopping into my video, and today I am going to be doing a little painting process video of my final painting for my painting class of fall semester. Fun, awesome. Let's all collectively ignore that this video is probably going to be a full month late coming out. I had no motivation to do any voiceover or editing for this, so I'm sorry. It is what it is. Anyways, let's get on with it. This is what I'm working with, and that's what I'm working from. Who's this freak? Yes! It's giving Selfcest, it's giving secret romance. Yes, I'm the new Tumblr sexy man. I kind of immediately lost my mind in this process because I was like, yeah, I'll sketch this freehand. Why would I do that? I have a projector. This was just like a prison I put myself in, and it ended up making a lot of the anatomy weird because my reference was kind of square and my canvas was rectangular, so I was just kind of messing around with the placement of everything, and I'm sure the perspective in anatomy is wrong, but also it doesn't really matter in this piece, so whatever, I don't care. I immediately decided I needed a little treat, so me and my roommate DoorDashed some milk tea. Yummy! Honestly, it's probably what kept me going this day. I was so tired. This entire process I was sleep deprived. Honestly, at this point in the painting, I had no clue where I was going. Like, I understood that I was doing hard edge painting for the actual figures, but I was just like, I just have an excess of phthalo green, so I was sketching in that, and I was thinking I'd go back in for a second layer of the background, but then my instructor ended up liking the sort of not fully opaque look, so I just left it. I don't know, I still don't know if I like it. It's probably something that I'll go back to at a later time, but I just can't be bothered right now. I ended up somehow losing my recording for this first part of the face. I was not done rendering at this point, so I just started the recording back up, but the idea for this piece was I wanted to have the two figures on the left be in yellow, from like a yellow, black, and white, and then the two on the right be blue, black, and white. So kind of monochromatic, kind of a fun color palette. I haven't really worked with this color palette before, but I thought it was cute. Kind of awesome. I honestly just did the colors because I thought they looked cool and I was playing around on Ibis Paint with my reference photo, but I think it actually sort of ended up playing into the sort of narrative behind this piece. So like I was saying in that one clip, it's sort of like a toxic, self-cessed Yuri, like, is it a polycule? Perhaps. I guess it depends on how you see it. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. But I think specifically that they're kind of split into twos with the coloring. It just plays into that idea of pairing them up and then the way they interact with each other. I don't know, a lot of fun. I think by the end of this piece, there was just like a lot of little fun little narratives I had going on in my head about it. And ooh, look at this, some satisfying little tape peels. Honestly, the tape peels in this piece didn't work all that well. I probably should have been pressing down harder on them, but I was a little bit nervous just because this is such a big canvas. I didn't want to risk, like, stretching it weirdly. So this is what I was working with the next day. At this point, I was starting to realize just how long this process would take, especially with yellow. Blending a clean yellow to white to black is so hard, and I really underestimated how much time it would take. Oh! Damn. I should pick up ballet. What? Anyways, yeah, I've never really done anything like this before, so I really underestimated how hard it would be. And then I took a several day break. I think it was to work on other projects, because yeah, all my other classes had stuff due. This was just like the longest and hardest project. But yeah, a full weekend of not working on it and going back to it was painful. I love yellow and I like painting in yellow, but man, it's just an experience. Ugh. I have such mixed feelings about this face because I think some parts of it turned out really well, but I think just the silhouette of the masking tape was slightly off and it messed up like the forehead and stuff. I do just have a weirdly big round forehead, so that's part of it. But I think something I might go back later and do is darken the eye sockets. I think that might play into the expression on the face a little bit more, because I know it wasn't like that in the photo, but I think it just would help the narrative of the piece altogether, and hopefully help to sort of push that one side of the face back into darkness. I don't know. I can't look at this painting right now. I put it in my brother's old room so I don't have to look at it. Working on this piece was kind of humbling, because I mean, I wasn't the only person to include any nudity, but I was one of 2 people in my class to choose to do my own nude figure. I don't know why, but I assumed a lot more people would play around with that. I was kind of under the impression that everyone would be working from their own bodies, and I was like, oh, I'm sure that means other people will work from their nude body. But apparently, I don't know, I guess everyone else just went and got like stock photos and stuff, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do a nude photo shoot in my dorm room and print all those off on the school computers. Oh my god. But I think this piece is a lot of fun, even though it was kind of embarrassing being the only one to do that. Whatever. We stay silly. I really did not record much between that day and then December 4th. I was just kind of locked in. Also, I had to take some more mini breaks to work on my other projects. You know how it is. But I actually was just looking at this video and it was taken at like midnight, I think. I'm just remembering being in that studio until 1 a.m. every single night, and it's just kind of awful to think about. Horrible memories, do not recommend. Painting when you're too tired to paint is one of the most miserable experiences. Like, I don't know, I've pulled all-nighters to write essays and stuff, but like, painting when you're tired, it just drags on. It's still more fun than writing an essay, but it's just harder. At least for me. Anyways, obviously a lot of these clips are sped up, but if you are watching some of these clips, some of them are real time. This was such a slow process. By the time I got to this face, I was just changing my style entirely, and I was painting in more blocky colors and stuff because I was like, I just don't have time. But honestly, this face is one of the best faces I think I have ever painted. I don't know. I don't really know if I got my likeness perfectly, but I still really like it. I think the eyes especially, and the nose and the lips, I don't know, but especially, like, I don't know, I feel like there's some real personality in the eyes, which is something I think I have a hard time with. I don't know, I love it so much. I think it makes all the other faces look a lot worse in comparison though, which is too bad. Whatever. I'm so glad I went with the yellow figures first, because the blue ones were so much easier to paint. They were just so much more opaque, especially because I was using phthalo blue, which is just a very pigmented color, and it mixes really beautifully with white. You get so much tone out of it. I don't know. It's just a really beautiful color that I love working with, so it was kind of a treat for me to get to paint the last 2 in blue. And I don't know, I don't know if other people agree with me about how much narrative this painting manages to have. Ooh, rim lighting on the face. That's kind of beautiful. Yeah, I don't know if other people agree with me about how much narrative is in this piece, but I just think it's really fun to stare at and make up stories about this weird relationship between these versions of me. I don't know. It's a lot of fun for me. It's something I think I want to explore more in my work later, and luckily it seems like something my parents aren't too weirded out by. I was really worried this was gonna weird my parents out, because like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but I'm really interested in making more work now that sort of expands upon this idea of interacting with yourself. Especially, I think I'm coming at this from a perspective of being aro ace, and so like the idea of the most like crucial relationship to most people is something that I will never experience. And so this is like kind of romantic in a way for me, and it's like this romance with myself. And just, I don't know, I'm interested in exploring that idea more, maybe going even further with the idea. I don't know. It is also partially about just being an artist on social media and like self-censorship. Like a big part of this piece was that there's really, like, I guess one of the butts isn't fully censored, but like all of the boobs are censored, etc., etc. I don't know how much I can talk about this without getting in trouble, but just the way that I feel like I really have to censor myself as an artist on social media, and how my concepts, first and foremost, come from a perspective of somebody who has always posted their work on social media. Like, I've been doing it for years, and so it's something I sort of do inherently, is consider what social media algorithms will think of the piece, which is something I really hate doing, but something that I think is just inherent to me at this point. And so they're all sort of censoring each other in a kind of fucked up way. It's not really fucked up, I just think it's funny, but I don't know, kind of funny, kind of fresh, kind of funky. Of course, I do also think that a lot of this self-censorship also comes from the perspective of being a fat, queer, woman-aligned person. Like, my body is under a lot more scrutiny than most bodies are. Especially thinking about, like, straight thirst traps, how those things stay up, and then meanwhile, like, fat queer bodies are being censored left and right, and not even their bodies, just like topics in general that aren't socially acceptable enough. I don't know. It's something that I'm always interested in talking about, especially because I grew up online, and like, my experience interacting with the queer community was inherently online. I didn't really have much of a community as a teenager when I was figuring myself out. And so I sort of turned to the internet, and that really shaped who I am, because everything online really comes from that lens. Like that lens of keeping your content safe enough to monetize, basically. Woo! December 7th! Yippee! It's actually really interesting to me that I feel like I can see my improvement along the course of this painting, because I spent, if my calculations are right, I spent around 70 hours on this painting, and I feel like I can see my improvement going to the right. Even though I was spending much less time on like this hand and that face, they are so much stronger than some of the other parts of the other side, which I just think is really interesting. Like, obviously you don't really want a piece where you can tell you've been improving over the course of it, but it's still interesting for me to personally be able to look at and see, oh yeah, I figured out how to render a finger in a way that was more realistic there, and like, I think I understood better the planes of the face in this one. I don't know, just kind of interesting. I think it also helped direct me in what way I want my style to go in the future. I much prefer this slightly blockier style. I still actually have really liked painting in a more realistic style. I still love semi-realism, like that's what I grew up doing, but I think a lot of my paintings will lean more towards this sort of, you know, realistic proportions with some more liberties taken in my color choices and my shading style, if that makes sense. I don't know, a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see where my painting goes next semester. And honestly, don't mind me, because I'm gonna start rambling about the narrative I see in this piece again. I think this middle blue figure has a real purity in its eyes. Like, I know they all have neutral expressions, but just the slight variations in the way I painted them, this one just has kind eyes. I don't know. It just seems like it's sort of caught in the middle of all of this. And I mean, I guess it is sort of, it is making its own choice, like it's holding the hand of the far figure, but it's a fairly neutral figure. It's really being clung on to by the one to the right of it. And while it is holding on to it, it's just like not as invested as the other one seems to be. And you'll see the other one ends up looking really possessive and toxic. I kind of love it. The blue ones are kind of, I don't know. I like the yellow figures, but I think the blue ones were just a lot stronger. And anywhere where like these bodies interacted with each other, like where the hands wrapped around and like where the finger sort of poked through the other fingers, it's driving me crazy. It's driving me mad. I love it so much. I love making up interactions that never happened. And we are at December 8th. This was the last night I worked on this painting. Thank God. I was so over it at this point. I was so many hours into this painting and I just wanted to be done. It was technically already well past the due date. The critique, or the day we would have had the critique, was well gone, and it was coming up on the actual final due date where we were not allowed to hand anything in past then. So I was just like, you know what, I don't care if it looks good or not, I'm handing this in tonight. And so some of the parts are definitely underfinished, especially the one leg on the blue figure. It looks really bad. I just could not get it right. I have a hard time rendering legs and thighs, and especially a larger thigh. Just figuring out the way the light bounces off it is really hard. I don't know. Anyways, I think at this point you can kind of see how horrifying the other blue face is. It's really scary. It kind of scares me to look at. Yeah, one thing I really wish I'd done in this piece was render more body hair. Like, I didn't do any of my leg hair. What the hell? I was really excited to do that. I love painting leg hair. I love the little tiny brush strokes, but I just didn't have time, and it was really sad, and I was scared I'd mess up all the rendering I'd done. So I guess that's something to think about next time. Upsetting. Upsetting. I got so scared right here. There were people outside in the parkade outside the school setting off fireworks. It scared me so bad because this was like midnight and these jerks are out here setting off fireworks. It's actually scared me so badly. It made me mad. Oh, and then of course they all drove away before the cops got there, and I was like, fuck! It was upsetting. It's just like, you know what? Most of the time I don't really care what people are doing, but like, some of us had shit we were doing. Yeah, I'm basically done the painting at this point. I have one last leg to do, and then I'm leaving the rest of the purple bits untouched because I'm sure I've already mentioned it, but I was told to leave this one hand undone, and then I felt like, okay, now I gotta leave other stuff untouched. I don't know if I love it, but I'm just running out of time, and I've got a whole essay that I still need to write for one of my classes, and I've got to do that the next couple days, so if I can finish this tonight, that's good. But I don't feel like it's at a point where I'd call it done. Especially like some of the gradients on, especially like this leg here and the stomach, I'm not really happy with. I didn't get it to the point of completion I would like. So this will probably be an ongoing project, maybe over winter break, maybe next semester, maybe next summer. I don't really know. I just don't feel like I'm at a point where I would call it done, but it's done enough to hand it in. So yeah. Don't love it, but it is what it is. Anyways, yeah, I didn't work on it at all over winter break. I didn't do anything over winter break, really. It was like well, it was a break. I really didn't make much art at all, which was really nice. This really took it out of me. Also, I don't really know if I've ever shown this wall in my video before. I'm in my childhood bedroom right now, and these are a bunch of old artworks. Well, those two I didn't do, but the rest of them are all stuff that I have done. That's kind of awesome. I kind of want to talk about all these paintings someday. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I plan on doing more of this type of stuff the more paintings I make. I'm really starting to ramp up the number of paintings I make in school, which is nice, because I like painting. Who could have guessed that one? I'm majoring in it and I like it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year. Bye!